Hi folks, I had to make a video response to a video I've been watching, which I will put the link in the description box below, because I've got too much to say to write it all in a text. So here we are. So this is just a response video. As some of you know, I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos on the incel community, in particular a channel called Face and LMS. And the video I've been watching, I tell you, his channel is better than TV. So what's my beef and what's my response? Now, he had a few guests on his live stream, and one of the guests, he was coming at the angle that men need to put in more effort to get better results in their dating life, which is true to a point. I'll come to that point in a second. So this is on the back of the statistics that today in 2019, 28% of men are struggling to get dates and get laid. Freaking spider's web. Anyway, so a video was featured in the video, I think, of 5 guys who were too shy to approach women. They didn't know what to say to women, and apparently there was this dating guru who was going to guide them and show them to be more successful. Now, before you watch the video, let me just warn you, it's quite a long video. His video is about 2 hours long, but the bit that I'm talking about is near the beginning, so you don't have to endure 2 hours to get to the point I'm talking about. Anyway, so the guest was saying, oh, well, these guys, I could see they're not the sort of guys that will go out and make a lot of effort. They're the sort of guys who would sit down in their house and not make much effort and not go out. You know, it is all depends on how much effort you put out and what you're going to get in, which again is true to a point. Like I said, I'm going to come to this point. Now, what annoyed me with the guest is his lack of empathy, because he was coming with the classic normie mistake of what works for me must work for you. And despite the fact, like I've said in another video, you know, I've had a lot of wild fun in my life. A lot of it has stemmed from the back of working in the entertainment industry. I'm a pro dancer, by the way. So a lot of the wild fun stemmed from days, and a little bit before that. So even though I've had a lot of fun, and without sounding big-headed, I would say that I've had more fun than a lot of men will even see in their lives. And I know it sounds like arrogant, but it is what it is. But despite that, I've got empathy to know, well, that's good luck to me, but not everybody has the same slice of the cake. You know, you got the haves and the have-nots. You know, there's always going to be someone who's got more, and there's always going to be someone who's got less. So I'm not going to come, like I've said in the previous video, with my I'm alright Jack privileged ass and bestow onto an incel and say, well, all you need is game, all you need is game, all you need is game, when I know there's more to it than that. Because if your looks are at a certain level, now this is why I said what that guest said was right to a certain point. If let's say your looks is anything from 4 out of 10 upwards. Now, the points that the guest made about your approach, your demeanor, and what your game makes a difference. Well, from that point, yes, it would make a difference, because you've got a level, a good level to start from. You've started off a good level, so you can advance from that point. But if your looks is below that point, if your looks is below a 4 out of 10, all the game in the world ain't gonna really get you anywhere. Okay, you're gonna have the exception to the rule, but most of the time, unfortunately, being how superficial women are, regardless what they say to your face, first thing they're gonna spot is either your face or your height. And all the game in the world, they ain't gonna freaking sort that. So this is where I disagree with him, because between the age of 13 to 18, very delicate years in a man's life, because what you experience in those years in terms of your reaction from the women would really read out in the rest of your life. So as they call it, reassurance. So if you're a Chad or a normie and you've had lots of positive reassurance, that's going to make a difference on your confidence to approach women, because you've had a lot of reassurance to know that, yeah, there's a good chance I'll be successful. I may not be successful, but it's no problem. Whereas if you had a lot of negative response to yourself, of course your confidence has got to be knocked. Now, despite the fact that I've had a crazy lifestyle, I still have some scars. Now, if I've got some scars, well, much less for guys who hasn't had my lifestyle. What scars are they going to have? You know, for example, like I've mentioned this in various videos. Here in the UK, since I was a teenager, my dating history goes as thus. In terms of, if I had to describe the most positive response from the different type of women on the planet, I would say the most positive response here in the UK came from white women. Then, believe it or not, Asian, South Asian, and then at the very bottom would be black women in terms of positive response. So in short, the most negative response I received since I was a teenager are from women of my colour here in the UK. Now, that does not include the few black women I've dated, because obviously they didn't give me a negative response for me to date them in the first place. So obviously what I'm saying does not apply to all black women. But still, despite that, you know, in my experience, I get a warmer response from women outside of my race. Now, some people don't like to hear that because they don't want to wear any kind of responsibility. As a consequence, this is where the scar is. This is not something intentional. There's no malice when I say this, but because of my experience, if I'm walking down the road and a black woman comes towards me, my immediate thought, my instinct is not one of desire straight away. Sometimes it is. Every now and again, one will slip to the net and I think, ooh, I would like to approach her. But most of the time, because of the response I've had from black women, desire is the last thing in my mind. And it has made a difference with my dating history and my dating decision. So, excuse the motorbike, 1 second. Wait a minute. Right, so if that's made a difference for me with my crazy lifestyle, dating history, well, much less for a guy who's had a lot of rejection. You see my point? So that's where I disagree with that guy. With, you know, game. Because like I said, if your looks is up below a certain level, game ain't gonna help you. Gaming is just not gonna freaking help you. I don't have any solutions to give you as such, because this is not really a solution video. I'm responding to his notion that, yeah, what works for me will work for someone else. And bearing in mind, this guy, his looks apparently was a 7 out of 10, even though I think he's 5'6". But all the point is, again, he was at a certain level, and where this strikes a chord with me as well is because I've been on the receiving end of that as well, because black men who's had more success with black women, they've come with that ignorant, arrogant attitude that, well, hold a minute, what's your problem, Ron? You know, I have no problem. The black women respond well to me, so what's the problem? Well, good for you. They like your face, they don't like my face. So just because they give you a good response doesn't necessarily mean that we share the same. You know, your experience is is not, what's the word I'm looking for? I hate when this happens. I hate when this happens. Your experience, your experience is no reflection of my experience. You see what I'm saying? So that's why I find it kind of arrogant. I mean, my brother's the same. When I say he's the same, he's had better luck with black women when he was a teenager, and sometimes he's come with that angle as well. I had to say to him, look, they responded to you for whatever reason, but I didn't get the same response. We did not share the same lifestyle and share the same history. So the point I'm making, if that's my scar, and I've had a wild lifestyle, these guys, they've had way more rejection than I have. So they're gonna be even, well, imagine it. So there we are. Ugh, freaking flies, bugs everywhere. That's the point of summer. So anyway, that's my response. So to the guy in the video, that game works only to a certain point, and that's kind of really what I just sort of point out to you. Okay, thanks for watching, and see you next time. Okay, bye.